Hey there, welcome back to The Magic and the Music. I'm Jen. Did you know that it is possible to request a room when staying on property at Walt Disney World? Well, we do it every single trip and often with pretty good results. We've even gotten the exact first choice room that we wanted a few times, and we typically get in the area that we have requested most of the time. There are a couple of different approaches to this, so we're going to be covering those today. So whenever we travel to Walt Disney World, we always make room requests. We've been doing this for years. We are Disney Vacation Club members, so these days we typically stay in DVC resorts. However, even before that, when we stayed at the regular Disney World resorts, we were always making room requests. So we're going to take you through that process. So the first thing that you have to think about when you are making a room request is that you need to maintain the same booking category with your request. So if you book, let's say that you are going to stay at Boardwalk Villas and you have a standard view room, you cannot request a pool view room. You're not going to get a pool view room because that is not the category that you've booked. The same thing goes at any resort. If you're at Pop Century and you have a standard room and you want a preferred location, you can't request a preferred location because that's not the category that you have booked. So make sure you know exactly what type of room you have booked because it's pointless to request something that is not in that category. So the first step is online check-in. You're going to go ahead and do your online check-in process. The website version of this hasn't been working well for a long time, so I always do this on the mobile app these days. Sometimes they have provided the opportunity, depending on the resort, to make some limited room requests online, but it's really just a pull-down menu, and it's a very simple pull-down menu, and it might offer you simple things like near elevator or ground floor, or depending upon the resort, certain specific areas. So, it's better than nothing, but often I don't even bother with these specific requests because they really just aren't specific enough. And honestly, I don't want any of those requests to interfere with my more specific and detailed requests that I'm going to make with some of these other strategies. Now, one thing to keep in mind, sometimes when you do the online process, it will give you the option to say that you would just like the earliest room that's available. And, you might want that, you might not want that. Just know that if you do go that direction, you're not really going to be able to get a room request in addition to getting a room that's ready early, because typically a room's not ready early. But we have had a couple of times where we flew in with a red eye and it was early in the morning and we were exhausted and we just said, we don't care, just give us whatever. And they did, and that's great. But in those circumstances, then you can't be picky about what room you get. You get what you get. And if you get a room early, that's great. But again, don't expect that. So the next step you're going to want to take is to either call Disney's Central Reservations number if you are doing a cash stay, that is just a regular hotel on Disney property. You're going to want to call them and have your specific room requests noted on your reservation. Now, if you are a Disney Vacation Club member and you're staying on a DVC reservation, you're going to want to do this specifically with Member Services. Keep in mind that Member Services has had pretty long wait times recently, so a really good tip is to use the chat feature on the DVC website to get these requests added to your reservation. So I'm going to include the phone numbers in the description of this video below for Disney World Central Reservations, as well as Disney Vacation Club's Member Services number. While we don't always take this step to add it to the reservation because it's not the official request, it certainly does not hurt to do this. Make sure that if you are going to send in a request and you have this noted on the reservation, that they are actually asking for the same thing and that they are not contradictory. Okay, now we are getting down to business here because touringplans.com service is actually what we use for all of our room requests at Disney World. Touringplans.com, if you are not familiar with this website, you definitely should be. It is my top favorite website to use for Disney World trip planning. And it is a paid service, so you do have to actually pay to use this. It's an annual subscription. It is currently $17.95 for a year subscription, but you can get discounts if you buy more than 1 year at a time or if you have more than one location. For example, we have Disneyland and Disney World, so they'll give you a deal when you get multiple subscriptions. We really think that touringplans.com is absolutely worth the price because you have a lot of really, really wonderful tools such as the crowd calendar, dining reservation finder, and of course this room request tool. So next we're going over to touringplans.com and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. So here we are at touringplans.com and this is the dashboard. So once you have a subscription, this is where you're going to head and you will be able to enter in your trip. And I actually have a series of trips, and when I do split stays, I typically make them into separate individual trips. It's just a little bit simpler and easier that way. So over here I have a sample trip, and this is a Walt Disney World trip, and I just randomly picked a week in August. And I chose Copper Creek Villas and Cabins at Disney's Wilderness Lodge because last time we stayed there, we scored the exact room that we had requested using touringplans.com's room request tool. So I'll show you how I did that. You can see that there are two places to link to it. Either click directly on the resort name, and of course all of the Disney World resorts are available, or I can click directly on request room. So either of these options will work. So let's go there. And that, you can see, takes me directly to Copper Creek Villas and Cabins at Disney's Wilderness Lodge. So here is the map, and this building, this little outline here shows the section that is actually this DVC section of the resort. I'm going to go over here to the room type. Now it's important that you take note of which type of room you have booked because you'll only be able to make requests that are within that booking category. So we're going to pretend that it's our vacation last year, and this is exactly what we did to get this room. So we had booked a standard view studio. So I'm going to click on that one and then hit show matching rooms. And you can see that highlighted in this kind of light red color, we have the matching rooms that match my search. You can see that there are 78 rooms and they're all in this building. These are technically part of that too, but they're not matching my search. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that building, and I can go floor by floor. Right here I have a pull down menu and I can choose floor by floor what I want to see in terms of my search results. So you can see there are several options here on this first floor, but last time we actually got the 6th floor, which was great. So I'm going to scroll up here, and here we are on the 6th floor. And you can see all these ones that are shaded in red. These are the ones that match our search results. And aha, you can see there's something really different right there on the corner. It is a weird L-shaped corner studio. So I'm going to click on that one, and you can see that we've got the view from room 6115, and right here is this beautiful view, and I can click through some different photos to see what the view from the room looks like. It really is a great view. And so these are photos that are contributed by members, and they've sent them into Touring Plans, so it's a really great resource. You can see sometimes people will comment and say whether they like the room or not, if there were any good or bad things. And then if they don't have a photo of that exact room, they will include a photo of a nearby room so you can get an idea of the view. And then they give you all the details about the room, that yes, this is in fact a standard view studio, believe it or not, and they give it a sound level rating and walking to transportation, lobby, all these other things. If I decide, yeah, this is the room I want, I would go ahead and scroll up here, and I can click here. Click here to make a request for this room during your upcoming sample trip. So I'll click on that, and it's taking me back to my dashboard. On my dashboard, you can see here it's asking me to input the name and reservation number via configure room request below. So otherwise it will not be sent. I'm going to click on configure room request, and so here we are on the configure room request page. You can see I would enter my name, my reservation number, my contact information, and right here, this is the key. This is the language that they've used to indicate what room we might want. Now here they have said Copper Creek Villas floor 6, northeast facing room, example 6115, 6117, 6119. Now if you only wanted that corner room, you would actually want to say 6115, 7115, 5115, because those are each of the different floors, and you can look at that on the map. So here they're giving you kind of rooms that are in that vicinity. So you can kind of decide what sampling of rooms you want to offer. Now that doesn't mean you're going to get that exact room. We have had situations where we requested a certain room and we were able to get like really close to that room. So sometimes you don't always get what you want, but you know, often you'll get something that's pretty close to what you want, and sometimes you'll get exactly what you want. So what does Touring Plans do with this request? They actually email it to Disney 30 days before your check-in date, and they'll actually send you a verification email, which is really helpful so that you know the request has gone in. So I would say if you are going to call in and add a note to your reservation, you definitely want it to match up with the information that you put in your Touring Plans room request. So all things line up and nothing is conflicting or confusing your request. This is not a guarantee, but we've had a lot of good success with it, and it's a great way to communicate exactly what you're trying to get. Tell us in the comments if you have requested rooms in the past and what strategies did you use for it? What kind of luck did you have? And also maybe some rooms that you're interested in requesting in the future. What are some really, really great rooms that you love? So happy room requesting and happy Disney World vacation planning to all of you. Hey, we have lots of great videos on our channel about Disney, music, Disney Vacation Club, and family fun. So we'd love for you to come and check it out and just stay for a while. Make sure you leave us a comment or hit that like button if you're having fun. Thank you so much for joining us today. Have a great day, everybody.